Hello, welcome back to University World TV. And on our show, Overcoming Broken Chalk Pieces, I'll be your host, Emily Furaha. And today, I'm privileged to have our guest who is going to share his story. We're going to be inspired, and I'm sure you will enjoy the story at the end of it. But mostly, you'll be inspired to achieve something in your dreams. So I understand that our guest today has a story that is touching. He's a retired teacher, but through his journey as a teacher, he went through something that we can say was a broken chalk. He went through something like that. So he's just going to share that story, and I will allow him to introduce himself and then tell us who he is, what he's doing right now, and just a brief history about himself. So welcome to our show.
Thank you very much, Raha.
Your name?
I am Manwari, Excongo, Otero.
Okay.
I come from original home, that is Nyamira.
Okay. Nyamira County.
At a small Nyamira County.
Okay.
A small village called Bumburia, Munjonga village. That's where I come from. But I'm currently staying in Kamulu, which is in Nairobi County.
Okay.
Along Kangundo Road.
Oh, okay.
That's where I'm staying right now.
Okay, yeah. So I would like to briefly hear about your journey, like maybe when you started teaching, because I understand that's your area of profession. When you started teaching, maybe
when I started school.
Okay, yeah, I think we can do that. Like when you started school and then when you started teaching. Yeah.
Okay, I was born way back in 1950. Okay. I started my school in Kericho, where my parents were working. My father was a mason, and my mother was, they call them housewives, but I think the housewife does more work than the people are working. So she was staying with us there. Then when I started school, standard 1 and 2, and on reaching standard 3, I was taken to my maternal grandmother's home. I really don't know why they did that, because I liked staying in the urban because I had grown up in the urban.
I think mostly parents think when we stay with
the grandparents.
Yeah, but the thing is, our grandparents, I feel like they spoil kids.
No. So some grandparents may spoil you, but the ones I went to live with were even more strict
than your parents.
As far as what I was supposed to do was concerned. So when I went there, I started staying with my grandparents, my grandmother actually, because my grandfather, my maternal grandmother, was my maternal grandfather had passed away a bit earlier, but I didn't know when. I had seen him earlier when he came to visit us in Kericho. And when I went home, he was no longer there.
Not there.
Now here I was staying with my uncle in a small hut. So and that was, it's like the father figure in that home. And then I started standard 3. That was way back in 1959.
Okay.
When I went to a local school in Kisii County now, a school called Nyansakia. And then at standard 4, which was 1961, I think it was 60, I sat for that standard 4 examination. CEE, Common Entrance Examination.
Oh.
Yes, I sat for that one. I was the last one. Our group at least.
Oh, yeah, because I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, we sat for that one. That was the last, they used to have a class, you do an examination at standard 4 to promote you to intermediate.
Oh.
Intermediate school was standard 5, 6, 7, and 8 by that time.
Okay.
And during that time, there were very few primary schools in Kenya which had the intermediate standards. So my school was one of them. But after sitting for that CE, the following year, which was 62, I think, the government promoted all the primary schools to have intermediate classes. So I continued up to standard 8 in 1965. When I sat for the last, I was almost sitting in the last examinations. I sat the last KCP, and during that 1965, we sat for the last CAPE. CAPE was Kenya African Primary Education Examination.
Okay.
But at the same year, people who are in standard 7 had sat for a special examination because the government wanted to change the standard 8, the primary examination to be done at standard 7, not standard 8.
Okay.
So I sat for that one. And then during that period, my parents had already come back to our home in Nyamira now.
Okay.
So I actually, the last 2 classes, that is 7 and 8, I did them while I was walking from my home to the school. Because my parents had come back home. So I prefer staying with my parents at home than with them. I had already overstayed with them. Yeah. So I sat when I was there. Then in those days, when you sit for CAPE, the results, when the results come out, letter A, if you get letter A, that's the best. And the letter E is the worst. When you get letter A, it is equivalent to 1 point.
Okay.
So if you get 3 A's, we used to sit for only 3 examinations. Okay. That is English, mathematics, and general subjects.
Oh, you didn't have so many subjects?
No, there were only 3. But these general subjects involved very many subjects. General subjects was geography, history, theory, science, biology, everything was there in that general subject.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you get 3 points, it means you are qualified maximally. Okay. That means that you are the best student because you have 3 years. Yeah. And those are the people who could go to places like Alliance, Jamhuri, those big schools.
That was the exam that took you to high school?
Yeah, to Form 1.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I sat for that examination, I did not get the A's that I wanted to get. I got B, C. That is B English, B mathematics, C in that sense. B mathematics C. Then general subject was B. That could not take me to a school I wanted.
Which school did you want to go?
I wanted to go to a national school.
Which was?
Which was Alliance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because my cousin was the same name like me, Manwari, had gone to Alliance. Oh, so I wanted to follow him up there. Okay. Because we had already decided by that time that we want to be lawyers. And when we become lawyers, we want to have a law firm, Manwari and Manwari Company. Okay. So I couldn't get it if I with these B's, couldn't get anything. Okay. So I decided to repeat.
Oh, you repeated?
Yes. Okay. I went back to standard. By that time, now the following year, it is 1966. The government had said the examinations will be done at standard 7. Primary examination will be done at standard 7. And it was now called Kenya Primary Education Examination. Okay. So I said, because I had failed, my father did not know anything about education, about passing and failing. Just knew it. So I knew if I had got this BBB, to get A, I have to go a bit lower. So I went to standard 6 to begin off to standard 7. When I reached standard 7, that was 1969, 68. Yeah. I started for that KPE. And then, to my disappointment again, I got AAB. That is A English, B some general subjects, C mathematics. Mathematics was giving me a headache. Yeah. So I could, so I knew this one will not take me to Alliance. Yeah. What do I do now? I still was not satisfied with myself. Yeah. But my father was getting fed up with me now. Yeah. So he told me, you have to go to Form 1. Yeah. Whether you like it or not. So he took me to a school called Rangenyo Boys Secondary. And then by that time by this time the government also had introduced an examination at Form 2 called Kenya Junior Secondary Examination, KJC. You sit for that examination, you can now go look for a job, or if you want to become a teacher, you become a P2 teacher, or you go to some of these technical schools. Okay. My interest was not that. So I went Form 1, Form 2, and then sat for that KJC. I sat for it. At the end of that year, there was a cousin of mine at home there who was by that time working at the Standard Bank. He had left Standard Bank and he wanted to continue to pursue it because he had started working at Form 4. But he wanted to pursue his education and he had sat for the Form 6. By that time, there was Form 4, Form 5, Form 6 examinations. He had done as a private candidate. He wanted to join secondary school, university. Yeah. Because he had already passed that examination, the A-level examination. Yeah. It used to be called A-level. Yeah. Was it? Yeah. East African Advanced Examination, something. ESE. So he had applied to be employed by the TSC as an trained teacher. Okay.
So if I understand clearly, when you've done your Form 2 exam, you can go
when you do your Form 2 examination, after the results come out, you can opt to continue to Form 4, or you opt out and join any other jobs, because in those days it was easy to get a job.
So when you finished, did you get?
When I sat for the KGSE, me, I was not interested whether I could pass or I only wanted to see whether I can pass it. Okay. And my interest was both Form 4 to Form 5, 6 university.
So when did you finish high school? So Form 6 now?
I didn't finish Form 6.
You didn't?
After that KGSE, that's why I was laying that foundation. Okay. This cousin of mine was employed by the TSS and trained teacher and was sent to Sigarame Secondary School, which is in Busia, to go and teach there. I told him, I have to go with you to that school. So that I pursue my Form 3, Form 4. He accepted and we went to that school with him. It was a big school which had 4 streams, Form 1, Form 4, 4 streams. Okay. Then the headmaster then accepted me, of course, because I was a brother to the teacher.
Had connections.
Yes. So I was staying with him and I stayed. It was a boarding school, but I was staying with my cousin. Yeah. But in that school, he was my brother. Because that's the only way I could get a chance of going from Form 3. Yeah. So I went from 1970, 71. Okay. But I only stayed with him for a year in my Form 3 class. Because the following year, 1971, he joined the university. Okay. So I was left now as a boarder at Sigarame Secondary School. I sat for my East African Examination Council. Is it Examination Council or what? EEC.
I don't know what.
The Form 4 examination, what do you call it these days?
It's KCSE.
KCSE, Kenya Certificate of, in those days it was called
Secondary Education.
East African Certificate of Education. Okay. Yeah. The Form 4 was East African Advanced Certificate of Education, because even when we are sitting the examination itself, the East African Certificate of Education, the papers, the question papers were papers which were done by all the schools under the British government. Yeah. That is the what do you call them? These countries which are under the what do you call them?
Under Britain.
And they were former colonial states, Britons. They are called Commonwealth countries. Are they the Commonwealth countries?
Yeah, Commonwealth countries.
So the examinations we were sitting were done by all those Commonwealth countries. Okay. So even in my certificate, when you look at it, it does not look like the certificate these days. Okay. Yeah, actually, there's a time I took it for an interview and someone was asking me what I had given him, because it didn't look like a certificate. Yeah. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I started for that examination in 1971. Then in those days, we were getting Division 1, 2, 3, and Division 4. So I got Division 2 at the end of that examination. And then it was easier that way during those days than it is these days. Because after that examination, I got a letter, or an invitation letter to Teachers College, Iregi Teachers College. Okay. That was 1972 now. That's 72 when the results are out. You know, as I had said earlier, I didn't want to become a teacher. Yeah. So I intended to continue to Form 5 and Form 6. So after the results were out, I went to, because I had learned in Busia. That was Western Province. In those days, it was a province, Western Province. I went to Kisi School to look for a chance for myself, because in those days, parents are not interested in looking. They want you to tell them that I have been called to this school. They pay school fees and they send you there. They don't even escort you. So I went to look for that chance for myself. I got the headmaster who was at Kisi School by then, was a person called Walobwa, Mr. Walobwa.
So which which college, or like even like, since you didn't want to become a teacher, what did you want
the
to
letter
do?
The teachers college came much later. That's after the results is when I started. I say now, from these results, because I scored Division 2, hey, now this is Division 2, I was capable. It was capable of taking it from 5 from 6. Because with the Division 2, they look at what the subjects that you sat at Form 4. And I had sat for the subjects that I had sat in. I had qualified very well to join Form 5.
5 and 6.
Yeah, Form 5 and 6.
Okay.
And because I done well in English literature, English language, Swahili, those subjects which could take me to law and CRE and silent. I said I have to go to Form 5.
So what I'm trying to understand here is that it was optional for people to go to Form 5
once you have started for Form 4, before you sit for that Form 4 examination, you have to choose which school you would like to be taken to at Form 5, Form 6.
Okay.
I had selected schools when I was in Western Province.
Okay.
And while I was waiting for them to, because it was not obvious that you could be taken anyway. Sometimes it's just like this. These days when they take 4 months chances, you choose a school and you are taken to a different one. I wanted to go to particular schools.
Okay.
So I knew with this Division 2, I couldn't be selected to Jamuhu to Lenana High School, which I had chosen as my Form 5.
Okay.
Because they were very choosy. They take the best. So I said I must look for a chance. So I went to Kisi School to look for that Form 5 chance.
Yeah, and you got the chance.
And by good luck, yes, the headmaster then, Mr. Walobwa, was known to the headmaster of my previous Form 4, Sikalame.
Okay.
They knew each other.
Yeah.
So he asked me, "You are a student from Sikalame?" Yes. "I will take you because Mr. Welime is my best friend, and I know you are a good student." So he gave me a chance to. That was on a Thursday, on a 1972, on a Thursday around March.
Okay.
Then he told me, come to school on Monday. Then because I wanted to be sure that if I fail here, I must get another school. I went to another school called Agoro Sare, and I was also told, you come on Wednesday, because I had passed well. So when I went back home, I was now very happy, telling my father, because my father was waiting for a letter to call me from 5 and 6. I told him I've been selected these 2 schools, and I've chosen to go to Kisi School.
Okay.
Then my father went to church on Sunday. I had used the address for my home address. I had used the address of the church. So while my father was in church, my letter was called among the letters which were called that day, on that Sunday, inviting me to Eregi Teachers College.
Okay.
So my father came back and told me that school from 5, from 6, you're not going now, no? You're not going there now. You will go to this Teachers College.
To Teachers College.
So that you can help me with these problems here. Your brother, I'm the firstborn in my home.
Okay.
So these brothers of yours must go to school. Go to Teachers College, get money there, and then take them to school, and then you go to that Form 5 of yours later.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So my father went to this brother of mine, this cousin, who had taken me to Sikalame, because he was at home. Went to him and told him that your brother does not want to go to Teachers College. He wants to go from 5 months. Can you come and convince him? Okay. So this is a gentleman who came and told me that I started from Standard Bank. I'm now in university. There is this, you can sit as a private candidate. Yeah. Then you join university as mature. There was something they used to call, if you sit as a private candidate, as from 5, from 6, and you pass, you are admitted to university on a basis they call mature age. That means you are beyond classroom student.
Okay.
So because he convinced me and actually he had joined university, I accepted to go to Iregi Teachers College, where I stayed for 2 years, and then I started teaching in 1974.
That's how you became a teacher.
Now I became a teacher.
And did you never feel like you should go back to your dream?
Yeah. 1978, while I was a teacher. You know, now after started teaching, 1974, there was this. I had solved the problem my father had told me I could solve.
You were now helping.
I was now the breadwinner almost.
Okay.
So I had to take these brothers of mine to school and so on. So I didn't sit for the Form 5, Form 6 examination immediately. In 1978, I sat for it. It was actually earlier, 1976. I sat for the A level examination, and then in the A level examinations, you either get one principal, two principals, or three principals, depending on how many subjects you have sat. So I sat for CRE, English Literature, and Kiswahili. Okay. So because I'm always bringing CRE because a lawyer needs to pass CRE. Yeah. So I was regarding myself as a lawyer even by that time. Yeah. So I sat for that one as a private candidate, and I got one principal and then two subsidiaries, and then I applied to go to Nairobi University. That was 1977 now, when the results were out. At the beginning of 1978, the government discontinued mature age entry to university. Okay. So I was curtailed. Yeah, so now I accepted to remain a teacher. Then I started now struggling to be a teacher. Okay. So I continued teaching now, and I started teaching in Eldoret, was in Nigishu. Okay. I taught there for a year. That was the whole of 1974.
So now you had decided,
now
like,
as a teacher.
I'm just going to
now
be
I
a
said,
teacher.
no, I will continue as a teacher, but if there will be a way, at least I must go to university, even if I have to do BEd now, because I must go to university anyway. So I continued teaching at Western English for a year, and then because of this majukumu ya nyumbani ya wazazi sasa, I decided to transfer back to Kisii, to teach in Kisii now, so that I can deal with the problems there. Then I taught there in 1975, 76, 77, 78, up to 80, up to 80 years. Then I transferred to South Nyanza. I transferred to South Nyanza because I had bought some piece of land there. I wanted to go and stay on it. The piece of land was in Ilambwe. When I reached the education office, Homa Bay, because that was the headquarters, I met with a DO who had been my DO in Nyamira. And he asked me, and he wondered why I had moved from Kisii to South Nyanza. When I told him where I wanted to go, that was Lambwe Valley, where the land was, he told me that is committing suicide. Because Lambwe Valley was known for sex supplies. Okay. Yeah, full of sex supplies. So he told me, if you go there, you will die, my friend. Okay. So the best thing is I will post you to a school which is on the boundary between Kisii and South Nyanza. Okay. And therefore I went to a place called Rongo. Okay. Rongo is a town in South Nyanza. Okay. Started teaching there. I taught for 2 years. 2 years, and then around 81, 82, 83, 84. Then 2 years. And then I fell sick.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Like, so now you've settled. Do you have a family now?
Yes, but by the time I left Western Nigishu. Yeah. Because I told you I taught in Western Nigishu for only 1 year, 74. Yeah. By the time I was coming back in 1975, I had already got a partner. Okay. Yeah.
And kids.
And we had children. Yes.
How many kids?
By that time.
Yeah.
It's not good to count children sometimes. I will only mention names. And then
it's okay. Actually, it's okay. It's fine. So now you have a family.
Yeah. And when I'm coming to Rongo now, I have a family.
Okay. So you were staying with them at the place of work?
No, by the time I came to Rongo, I was staying at home with my parents now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was staying at Rongo by myself.
Oh.
I had not moved in with them.
Okay.
Because I had been told to stay in Lambwe could be suicide because of the diseases which are there.
Yeah.
So I was staying alone, thinking of if I could get a piece of land maybe in Rongo there, which was a better place. Then I moved them in. But I didn't. Before I could move them in, I fell sick now.
So okay, now I want us to now dive into that.
We move in that one.
Things were okay. And then,
things are okay up to the time I fell sick now.
Now you are sick.
Now I was sick. After I became sick, the problem with the type of sickness was that I started developing lymph nodes, and in my armpits here, and between the legs here somewhere. Then I went to the Kisi hospital by then, and then the doctor told me, my friend, these things you simply remove them. I told him, my friend, how do you mean? I think I met a person who was not qualified.
Okay.
Because he was telling me that I removed the lymph nodes. I told him, is there no medicine which can reduce their swelling and the pain? He couldn't answer me that way. So I told him, no, I will not accept that you remove them. There must be. I thought there was giving me wrong information.
Actually, if I understand, lymph nodes, they help in the immunity
exactly.
system.
At least I had studied in school. So I knew that this man is telling me the wrong thing. I think I met the wrong person.
Okay.
So now when I developed the same problem while in Nyanza, in South Nyanza, at Rongo place, I went to the local dispensary there. The doctor told me that you need to be checked further. So he sent me to a mission hospital, which was around that place called Tabak. Tabak is in Kisi County now. Then the doctor there now diagnosed and then said, my friend, we remove one of these lymph nodes, then we examine it. He called it biopsy. And they want to do a biopsy on this lymph node so that we know what the problem is. And that's after he had admitted me for a week. That's the first time I had been admitted in a hospital myself. I had never been sick up to that time. Even when he was admitting me, I was wondering, now this is death. But anyway, after he removed that lymph node, he told me, now you can go home. You'll come and collect the results later. That he's going to send that lymph node, that biopsy, whatever it had removed from my body, he could send it to Italy, not even Nairobi University.
That time I understand. Maybe there were no.
So that was 1985, I think.
Okay.
So he sent it, and then he discharged me. I went back home, but still very sick. Then I decided to go for further treatment. I found a friend who took me, actually a person who was working in a hospital in Kapsabet. He took me to that place, and I was admitted. After a week, they decided to send me back. They to transfer me now, to refer me to Kisumu. But there was this one which they call Ogingodinga these days. By that time, it was called Russia Hospital.
Okay.
So I was sent to that Russia Hospital for further treatment. The doctor at that hospital also recommended for a biopsy to be removed from my body, so that he wanted to do the same biopsy that had been done at Tabak. That was about 6 months down the line. And I was still waiting for the results from Tabak. So when this man did the biopsy, sometimes he's very inquisitive about my health. So when he removed it, in that room where he removed it, that was on a Friday, I happened to pass around and looked at the place where the biopsy had been removed. And I saw the same containers which I had seen him using still on that table where I lied. I just suspected that they must be the ones that was using by that time. And I questioned the nurses. They did in the wrong place. And immediately I demanded for a discharge. That was now Saturday. I wanted to be discharged because I knew on that Saturday, I knew my people could come to see me at the hospital. I said, I'm going back with them, whether you discharge me or not. So because I insisted and I had evidence, I was discharged from that hospital back home, but still sick. On the following Monday, I went back to Tabak to find out about the results which they had taken the biopsy. That one which had been sent to Italy. Then the doctor told me the results are out, and the only way that we can't treat you here, we'll send you to Kenyatta. So I was now sent to Kenyatta. 1985 was 86, around 85. I can't remember the exact date, but it's around 85, 86. So I was sent to Kenyatta now. And I could appear sick anyway. I even saw this, and I didn't know what I was suffering from. Because there was pain and my body was shrinking all the time. Then I went to Kenyatta. Kenyatta, that was 86, in 86 February. That's when I arrived at Kenyatta.
So the doctors didn't tell you what you were suffering from, like even though they had the results?
At Tabak. Now they told me that whatever you're suffering from, you're going to be treated in Kenyatta. But what is it? What is it? They told me that even if we explain the name, you cannot understand it. You just go to Kenyatta. They will tell you maybe in Kenyatta. So when I came to Kenyatta, they looked at me, they looked at the results, and they had to repeat the same thing that had been done at Tabak now to confirm beyond a doubt that that's what it was. So they ascertained what it was, and I got admitted. That was around February now.
For how long were you admitted?
I stayed in that hospital up to October in the hospital. Yes.
But they were giving you treatment?
Yes, I was getting treatment.
So now had they told you?
Yeah, the doctors there. There was a Dr. Binya and Dr. Professor Obel. This man who said he had discovered the treatment for AIDS. Yeah, that Obel. Those were my doctors. And I told them I'm a teacher and I want you to tell me exactly what I'm suffering from. So they told me I was suffering from a disease called Hodgkin's lymphoma. Hodgkin's lymphoma. I think that one is a form of cancer, something. It is a form of cancer. Yeah, that Hodgkin's. That it makes because by that time the spleen had swollen. Yeah, my spleen was swollen. So I asked them if the spleen is swollen, can you remove it? Can I stay without a spleen? They said no, we don't need to treat you. So I was being given, is it chemotherapy? Chemotherapy and what do you call this one? Where they use the electricity? Radiography. So I was being radiographed and that chemotherapy. Then I started getting better because I was getting some medicine there. I was being treated and I stayed there for.
It's actually called radiotherapy.
Yeah, radiotherapy and the chemotherapy. That's a chemotherapy. I asked them why that, because I took that radiotherapy as some sort of human welding, because because you are taken to a place where they apply electricity, electro rays. Then I asked them why they were doing that. They say that they are directing the electrical rays to that particular place where they thought the disease was harboring. Then I said, if that can treat me, can it affect me in any other manner? No.
It's just so they only deal with this.
So while I was staying there, I was asking them whether I couldn't be discharged. They told me no, we treat you better here. Because I was here for that chemotherapy, that radiotherapy. Yeah, almost twice a week. Yeah, twice a week. And the medicine and the other things they told me that we must monitor you properly when you are staying here. Incidentally, before I was admitted at Kenyatta, as I was walking out, maybe because of my height, I had hit one of the roof, the trashes of the roof. I had hit it when I was walking out. I hit here, and then there was a swelling here on my head here. So when I was at the hospital there at Kenyatta now, I asked them what this swelling was all about, because I told them I just simply hit and then it started swelling. So I was taken for X-ray. They told me there's nothing wrong with this. Your skull is okay. It's only flesh. It will recede. And I said, okay. So when I started taking this medicine, this swelling disappeared and left that depression, which is there. It has never moved up or down. It remained there. So I don't know what that one. I don't know whether it was related to that.
I think it's maybe the effect
was related to that.
the,
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So I stayed there up to October. Then I was discharged. But before they could discharge me, the doctors told me, now because I had stopped teaching. So
it had been more than a year.
In fact, a year and because I'd gone to hospital around 85, June, July there. Then I'd been out of school all that length. So they told me, my friend, with this disease, after we discharged you, you will be coming to the hospital for clinic visits on a weekly basis. And you cannot make it from Kisii or from South Nyanza, because that's where I was based now. So we want to recommend that you transfer to Nairobi. Would you mind that? And then I said I couldn't mind because it was my health. And you can imagine, because I trained as a P1, the salary for a P1, it was really hard to manage it in Nairobi. Because at home there, primary schools had teachers' houses. We are staying in the compound. Or even if you wanted to stay in a marketplace, the rent was 300 shillings, nothing more than that. So in Nairobi, I knew this one was going to be a problem, but I had to do it. I had to accept, because treatment is better than any other thing else. So I said, all right, I will accept that I be transferred here. That I've been out for a whole year. And then the headmaster in my former school, even though he knew I was sick, because he had known I had gone to Tabaka, I had asked permission to go to Tabaka Hospital. I had asked permission to go to Kapsabet. He knew I was at Kisumu. Even though he knew that, he wrote to the TSC that I had abandoned teaching. I had absconded. That's what they use. So the salary, actually, in the course of this treatment, the salary had been, because you are interdicted when you are not working. So after I was asked to be transferred to Nairobi, I had to follow because I was now capable of moving. At least I had to gain some strength. So I had to make the movement now to TSC. With all the documents I had, medical documents, I had to take all of them to the TSC. Show them that actually I was sick and these are the documents. And by good luck, the commissioner at the TSC who was handling my case was a colleague I had been with at Iregi Teachers College, who had, after 2 years, after finishing the college as P1, he had been lucky enough to go for further studies, and he had become a senior person, so he had been transferred to TSC, and he was a commissioner of the TSC. And so when he saw my name, that I had absconded, he wondered what had happened to me, because he knew me as a person who could not abscond. So when I went back with my documents, that's what he told me. He told me, Manwari, I thought you had found a better job. So you were sick. This is very serious. Why did this person write that you had absconded? I said, I don't know. And then he was asking me,
people are just bad.
Some of these things, sometimes, God works in his own ways.
Yeah.
Because how is it that he had sent this man to be in charge of my case?
Yeah.
And he had been a friend. Yeah. And then I started realizing how, when I was working before I became sick, when I could apply for anything at CSC, my case was going very fast.
Yeah.
I asked for a house allowance. Within a month, they started growing it. Okay. The other teachers could take even more than 6 months. Yeah. So I discovered now that it is the man who could see my name and work upon it very fast. Yeah. So he asked me whether we can punish this gentleman who had lied. I told him no, because I can continue working. Yeah. Leave him with these problems. Yeah. So he accepted to the transfer was immediately effected through that gentleman. Okay. Then I started working in Nairobi now. Now, before I could, that was around August. I mean, that's October. October. Yeah, when you are discharged. Yeah, when I was discharged. And now I'm visiting the TSC 4 months later. That means the following year. Yeah. Then before that time, what happened? Before that time, before I could start, because I could be posted. Yeah. The Nairobi City Council. So I went because I was posted from the TSC. Okay. They post you to the council. After the council had received my name, I went there. Then they told me, now we want to post you to a school called Kabiro. Okay. Kabiro is in Kawangware. It's a private school. So the city council director of education asked me whether I could accept to be transferred to a private school, a private school which has been started by parents who wanted a TSC teacher. Can I accept to one teach in a private school, not a public school? Yeah. I said, yes, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So I went to Kabiru as a TSC teacher, the first TSC teacher, I think by that time, the first TSC teacher. And then they were very happy because they had received a TSC teacher. Yeah. So I worked there for about, and by that time, I'm working and going to at the same time going to the hospital for clinics. Okay. They accepted to accept that so long as they have a TS teacher. Because when I was in school, I could do my job. So I worked for about 8 months going for this treatment. Yeah. During this clinic, I was supposed to be given an injection, which what they used four different drugs for that injection to be effective. Okay. One of the clinic visits, which was a Monday, I went there and the doctors told me that we don't have one of the drugs. Yeah. And Professor Bell and those doctors who are in charge of me, they told me that when you go for clinics, make sure that you get the 4 drugs must be applied at once, all of them. If one of them misses, means that's no drug at all. Yeah. It's like you have taken nothing. Okay. So I went and found this drug absent. It was not available. Okay. Then they told me you have to buy this. By the way, these drugs, some of them we were buying them from Uganda. Yeah. Because they were not available in Kenya. And then the drugs were being made available to me by this gentleman. I told you that we had planned to be lawyers. Okay. He had become a lawyer in Busia. Okay. So while I was sick here, and I was told that these drugs can only be found in Uganda, I contacted him and told him that for me to be treated well, we have to get drugs which are found in Uganda. He was making those drugs available. Okay. So by this time, the drug was not available, and he had not found it, and he had not sent it because he could send it before I go for the clinic. Yeah. So I missed that drug, and then when I went back home, I started having a problem on my back now. Okay. I couldn't even sit when walking. I was getting a problem. And then the following week, the same drug was missing. and the problem was becoming serious. On reaching on Wednesday, after having missed the drug for two consecutive Mondays, it happened that I was with one of my cousins in my house in Manwari. When I wanted to go for a call at night, a Wednesday after the Monday, I couldn't move. In fact, I collapsed. I simply started walking and I collapsed. My legs could not hold the body. So it was a problem, this gentleman here. So we had to persevere with that. And pain was increasing. Up to the following day, we went to Kenyatta Hospital. Then when the doctors examined me, they told me, we don't have the X-ray or the type of X-ray they wanted me to be done on me was not available at Kenyatta National Hospital. It was available at Nairobi Hospital. So I was transferred by they offered their ambulance to Nairobi Hospital. Nairobi Hospital had to do that test. And the test was that they inject some medicine into my backbone, and that medicine, after about 30 minutes, it could have spread in the spinal cord. Then they take the X-ray. That examination had to be done. Then when I asked what that was, why they were doing that, they said that whatever they were injecting into the spinal cord could indicate why I was not moving. What had caused that? The problem could be found in the spinal cord. And so they discovered that by having not taken the drug for those 2 weeks, I had allowed, or it had allowed the disease to spread to the spinal cord. And therefore it was blocking the spinal cord. So the movement from the brain to tell the legs to move was not going through. So there was a cut-off there. So they had to treat that one now. So they sent me back to Kenyatta. Because this one was only to be done. The test was to be done at Nairobi Hospital, then be taken back to Kenyatta.
And how long now did you stay in Kenyatta?
Another year.
Now you are not in school anymore?
Now in school no more. Because when they discovered, when the Nobel discovered that now, they said you must now be admitted here so that we are sure that you are going to get the medicine all the time that's going to be applied.
So after a year of staying in the hospital, you recovered.
Yeah.
You started walking.
Yes.
When did you go back to school?
Yeah, I went back after that 1 year now.
Okay.
By the time I was going back, after that, these legs had collapsed.
Yeah.
While in the hospital, for that 1 year that I was in the hospital, the initial first 3-4 months, I was not able to move. So I was using a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I was now wondering, that was the problem that I had now.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering how a teacher is going to teach on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
But because I had a lot of hope.
Yeah.
Or I trusted the doctors.
Yeah.
Because I had told them, as I told you earlier, I told them that they should explain to me, because I'm the one who is concerned, to explain to me what exactly I am undergoing and how I can overcome it, so that I can prepare myself psychologically.
Yeah.
Then they told me that the radiotherapy sessions will be increased.
Yeah.
And now because the disease has gone along the spinal cord, we will be concentrating on that spinal cord.
Yeah.
And then the chemotherapy will continue as well. And you will be getting okay.
Okay.
So after about 4-5 months, I started having sensations in my legs. And then I told them the same.
Yeah.
Told me that's a good sign. Okay. Then the physiotherapist was also invited to come to my ward, the ward now, to give me some exercises.
Yeah.
Even using the frame. There was a frame at the hospital which you use when you want to walk.
Yeah.
the first physiotherapist they sent, I had to send him away.
Okay.
Because when he came, he was trying to ask me whether I am related to anybody who has enough money to buy a wheelchair. Because after I leave the hospital, I'm going to use a wheelchair at home.
Yeah.
I told him, my friend, I'm not moving out of this hospital in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Because I've started feeling sensations.
Yeah.
Because you cannot be put on that frame until the legs have started getting some strength. So I started improving slightly. And this gentleman comes and tells me that he wants me to be bought a wheelchair at home. I told him, my friend, I'm not going to use a wheelchair. And they said, my friend, let us accept it.
Yeah.
If you cannot move, it means you will use a wheelchair. There's no way. Then I said, then why are we using this frame here?
Yeah.
That we are only using it so that we can get at least some strength. I told him, my friend, because I feel I'm a teacher and I must teach when I'm standing.
Yeah.
I think you should not come here anytime for any of these sessions.
Okay.
When he came the following day, I told him I'm not moving away with
Yeah.
So he was discontinued.
Yeah.
They sent a lady who had been told my stand that I had wanted to walk, not using a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So when she came, she came with that language that I know Mr. Manwari will walk.
Yeah.
So let us begin using this frame.
Yeah.
The gentleman I had sent away came back after 2 months and saw me using that frame, almost walking.
Yeah.
He told me, my friend, I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
I was interfering with your psychological feelings.
Yeah.
And I told him, yeah, it's good that you left.
Okay. So
I started now using that frame
in
the hospital.
Yeah. How long did it take you for you to just walk like properly?
It took a long time. Because now the doctor said when that disease had gotten into the spinal cord, before it was gotten rid of, it had eaten away some of the cells in the spinal cord. Okay. And that the spinal cord is, the behavior of the spinal cord is such that it's like the brain.
Yeah.
That once the brain has been interfered with, whatever cells have been gotten rid of from the brain are never created. No, the doctors try to maintain whatever is remaining there from that point where the disease has been stopped. So even if it gains, it doesn't gain much. So they told me that even though you are on about 6 months, we are working completely.
And you went back to school after?
And I went back to school with that frame now. Same Kabiro school. With a frame now.
Okay. So
but using the frame for some time, then after some time, I started feeling that I could walk a bit more strongly. I started using 2 walking sticks because I thought that 2 walking sticks are better than a frame because a frame indicates you are sick. So I thought that 2 walking sticks, someone might think that you're just enjoying yourself. Yeah.
Okay. So because of time, I'm going to ask you like maybe a few questions.
Yeah.
I understand that when you were sick, your family was not with you. They were
now coming to the family. After I had been sick after I had been transferred to Nairobi. When I immediately got transferred to Nairobi, as I told you, I went to that gentleman who straightened up the records.
Yeah.
Then I was posted to Nairobi. Then the salary started flowing in.
Yeah.
Because they understood what is happening.
Yeah.
And if you recall, I had told you earlier on that I had been withdrawn from school so that I could take care of the family.
Yeah.
So now I knew that my family, because by that time the children had become, there were 2 boys, and 5 girls, 5 girls, yes. Yeah, that was a big number.
Yeah.
For my parents who are not able, because I was taking care of the parents, the children, and my wife. So now that I've been sick, I knew they had suffered all that period.
Yeah.
So immediately I was accepted in Nairobi to be teaching in Nairobi.
Yeah.
I decided to transfer them to Nairobi.
Yeah.
So I asked my wife move to Nairobi with the family. And as I told you, the P1 salary was not a salary that you could be living with in Nairobi, but I had to struggle with them. So they came and stayed with me. The children stayed with me. And you can imagine, some of these things you really don't have to say more about them, because someone may think you want to capitalize on that. But then I was taking care of them. They were there. They had to learn. And because there was nothing I could do else, they were learning where I was teaching. I took them to Manwari Primary School. I was at Kabiro. They started learning there. I was taking care of them here in Nairobi, and at home taking care of the parents. So that's how I was. And then I was living with them, and I found it not very easy. Because at the same time I'm going for treatment. I take care of this family. My wife is not a working class woman. She's not working. They are ones you call the housewives. So the housewife needs some money to run that house. So, and that money must come from me. We don't have any other thing. So the salary was, I was strong with that salary. Take these children to school. Some of them had started now going to secondary school. So there were two girls who were at St. Teresa's secondary school.
But at least they understood what you were going through.
They knew their father was sick.
And they knew. How was do you think in our community or our government, is there a support system for teachers who go through this?
Nothing.
There's nothing.
There is no, especially the primary school teachers. I think they are not treated, or they were not treated during that time as much as the secondary school teachers were treated. Because there are certain things like these allowances. When you move from the rural area, the allowances in the urban centers should be higher, at least much higher than in the rural areas. Because here the houses are more expensive. The life in general is rather high. So really to survive, you need the 70 cents, I think, if not the 6th one, to manage this. And so long as I think the best thing is the most important thing is not really whether the government is supporting or not. The most important thing is the psychological setup of the human being himself, the person.
The person suffering.
The person suffering. Once you have decided, as a human being, once you begin sympathizing with yourself and expect someone to help you without you yourself beginning with helping yourself, you may not get much. When I fell sick, I knew I have fallen sick, but I'm the breadwinner. So every time I could pray God and tell God, give me strength, remove this disease so I can take care of these people, because there are very many there. And I knew that even though the salary was less, I knew I could take care of these people. I psychologically set myself that I cannot fail.
So that was actually like your turning point. You're like using your positivity. To make sure you get better.
Even being sick. I've just told you that I sent away the physiotherapist. Yes. When my people, that's my cousin, my brothers, and so on, when they were coming to see me at the hospital, they were sympathizing with me. Oh, you cannot. I told them, you people, don't sympathize with me like that. These legs, well, God knows, He made me a teacher. A teacher does not teach, at least as far as I'm concerned. When I was in college, I used to be told, when you are teaching, don't sit. You stand. A teacher does not teach while sitting. So God knows that I must walk. So don't sympathize with me so much in the hospital here. These legs will walk, and you see me walking and teaching while standing. So I had set psychologically, I had set myself that I will get okay and I will continue. So the mindset, the human mindset, I think that's the most important for whatever else, whatever problem. Once you are in a problem, first of all, try to solve it as an individual. Don't even ask for help. Let the people around you who see how much you are struggling simply come in and give you a hand, because they will. When they see you are resolved, Yeah, the most important thing is that one, psychological setup,
Yeah.
and the resolve to deal with your problem first.
Yeah. And maybe to conclude, someone out there, maybe in any profession, might be going through stuff and they feel like they have the doubts that maybe I will not be able to continue with my career, the things are not going to work out. What do you tell that person?
That's what I've said.
Yeah.
Your mindset.
Yeah.
Once you find yourself in a particular situation,
Yeah.
don't look at it negatively, because the situation you find yourself in is a situation which maybe you didn't put yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
It just occurs.
Yeah.
You find yourself there.
Yeah.
Even if you have a job and you find that the salary you're getting, your income is not worth solving all your problems,
Yeah.
you can adjust.
Yeah.
What you should have in mind is, as much as we are equal in this world,
Yeah.
we are different in a way.
Yeah.
And each person,
Yeah.
when you are in a particular situation, do not compare yourself with someone you see around
else, yeah.
who is more successful.
Yeah.
You might think he's more successful than you are. No, look at yourself and your situation.
Yeah.
Try to live in the best way you can at that level, and then give yourself encouragement.
Yeah.
Remain optimistic.
Yeah.
Your people will always support you when they see you being optimistic.
Supporting yourself.
Like me, the people I was saying, the cousins who I was staying with here,
Yeah.
they were supportive because they saw how much I was independent.
Yeah.
And I had resolved that I must solve this problem.
Yeah.
You know, when people see you positive, they give you a hand.
Yeah.
But when you are a crybaby all the time, then they say, now where do we help and where don't we help?
Yeah.
But when you are resolved, solve your problem, that's what they do. You must, as a human being, whichever situation you find yourself in, don't sympathize with yourself. No, give yourself encouragement and know that there are people who are suffering more than you. It's just like when you go to the hospital with a cough. That's the same way life is. When you find yourself in a fix, try to wait the best way you can solve that problem yourself. People around you will see your resolve, and then they might help. People are not going to help someone who is just sitting there. It's just like you know, like for example, if a hyena is released to this room here, we are not going to sit here and wait. I came here with a stick. I might be fine myself without that stick outside there. And when you are asked, how did you come out? You will not even know how you did, because you have to look for out.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for that inspiring story. I think we've learned to, be optimistic, and it starts by you. Be positive, and then other people will support you.
Yeah, so, before we leave, I would like to maybe pass a thank you note to number one, my wife. Because after having come here and she's not working, she was able to take care of this family as I was sick. All this period, taking care of our children and my parents. That one I give her 100% resolve. I mean, thanks. My cousins who are here, and my cousins here. I don't know whether if I name names it will be a problem. There was just Mr. Otiso was my cousin, Manwari the man, the Busia man, the advocate used to my medicine. Even though I didn't join him in whatever we had said, but we are together this time. So all these people who supported me during that period, including the doctors at Kenyatta,
also,
Obel and Abinia, because after I told them that I would like to be told the progress of my disease and what it is, they were straightforward and encouraging. So such a people, I know to leave them. And
even the one in Tessie also.
Even the physician. And then the teachers I taught with. Because while I was teaching, even say whatever I've said. I think this is a chance that I wouldn't have got. I'm very grateful.
And I think it's
and my children for having accepted me and worked hard. During that period, they worked hard and passed. And they didn't let me down.
Yeah.
Because if they could have let me down, I could have said, then why did I fall sick?
Yeah.
Now I don't remember the sickness.
Yeah.
I remember the achievements. Yeah. And I'm very proud about it.
Yeah. That is so good.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for sharing. And I think people who have viewed the story have understood you. And
let me hope they will.
Yeah, they have.
Let me hope they will.
So that has been our show today, and I wish you all the best out there. Anyone who is going through pain, and anyone who has a story that they want to share, they went through something and they overcame. So you can just reach to us with the number below. You can even comment below, and we will find you. And remember to subscribe, like, and share this story so that other people can also be inspired, and we can create a community with people with positive mind. And if you see someone who has achieved something, gone through something, and still overcome, you can also overcome your situation. Thank you so much. I've been your host, Emily Furaha.
Thanks a lot.